I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational.
You can do it!
But that just wouldn't be our style.
Welcome to Project Reclamation, where you rebuild, re-energize, and reclaim your life. Here we go, recording some shit.
Like I was saying, though,
some masterful shit.
I don't have like a child myself, and honestly, I don't have like my sister. I mean, I'm a new uncle, of course, but like my friends all have kids right now too. But here's like the one thing: I was at a diner. I was at Rudford's Diner up in on El Cajon Boulevard, open 24 hours. That's air conditioned. That's right, Rudford's. You may have thought your last days, your best days, was in 1963 when JFK drove by, and you had that photo blasting. But it is when we blast your name on the Project Reclamation podcast.
Boom.
Boom.
That's right.
But short of the long is I was ordering pancakes, sitting up at the diner at the counter and be like, hum-de-dum-de-dum. And then this lady and her husband come in, and of course they're carrying one of those like baby kind of satchels. I don't know what the heck they call them. It's not the ones that you wear.
I think it's called a baby purse.
A baby purse? No, it's like it's a stroller minus the wheels, whatever that thing is. It's detachable. Short of the long.
So it's like a baby duffel bag.
Yeah, short of the long. She's like, oh, where can we sit? And then like
where the fuck you want?
Yeah, exactly. And then like the server waitress lady was like, she like gave the look like wherever you fuck you want, dude. Like it was sorry, this was a diner. Diners are usually popping at what, 2 a.m. or like 7 a.m.
Yeah. So what time was this exactly?
This is like 3 in the afternoon. So like it was like a ghost town diner. It was like me and a substitute teacher like working on his like plan to get out of substitute teaching.
Sure.
And it was just like
That's
we
what
were
I'd be
like
doing.
And we're like, oh, I'm done. And like, oh, where can we sit? Where should we sit? And I'm like, there's no special section for babies. Like, just sit wherever you want. In fact, and then we looked around. It was like there was like me, like I said, that substitute school teacher, and then like I don't know, one of those old like kind of dust weevils that was just like rolling across like that nomadic desert barren landscape. And I was like, oh, anywhere, I guess.
I think it's called a. What the fuck?
Tumbleweed.
There you go. Tumbleweed.
Yeah. But then I was just like, oh, well, crap. I think this lady has lost her mind because she's a new mother now. And obviously that's child number one, because I think her and child number two would be like, fuck. She'll just put the baby on top of the counter.
Oh, yeah.
While she's pounding in like a PBR or something like that. And be like,
oh, where should I put my baby? Wherever the fuck you want, lady.
Like, I was like, honestly, like even as a nurse, I was like, don't be so judgmental. Maybe she doesn't have any sleep or whatever. But then I was like, holy crap. That was like one of those questions that I'm just like, oh my God.
I feel like you just witnessed like the intersection of Special Snowflake and First Child.
Probably.
Yeah, Special Snowflake has a child. And that's what you get. Because A, you care a lot about your kid, so clearly it's your first one. Because by the time you get to the third or second one, you're just like, well, I guess don't keep that in your mouth too long.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't hear you. I don't hear you.
Right?
Are you guys okay?
And then and then the Special Snowflake, like her actually thinking that people gave a shit about her or where she was gonna sit. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's kind of funny.
The baby. I'm not. Mothers out there don't. Oh no, Steven, he's anti new mother. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just anti. Like I think when we debuted a new computer system at work this week. And Epic, that's right.
Was it epic?
It was an epic disator for the initial. Because these are the most intelligent people in the world, presumably, right? Okay, you have doctors.
You guys at
local San Diego
area hospital system. You guys signed this deal when you first moved here and started working at this.
In 2015, I was told we're just getting it right around the corner.
So it's been a 3+ year rollout.
Yeah,
and is it finally done?
It is. Well, in 1 more week it'll be done.
What a freaking nightmare, dude.
Yeah.
But hey, I guess it makes sense. I mean, you're talking about it. Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
No. But I was just going to say, these are like the most intelligent people, presumably, right? Physicians, like, right?
Wow.
Analysts.
Yeah.
Nurses, technicians.
People we trust our lives with.
Yeah. Managers of all different varying degrees and sorts. And then you have all the computer technology people in the whole wide world. And yet, at debuting a brand new system, like, boom. Like, it was pretty much the greatest CF of all time. That's short for clusterfuck. Shh. No, but I mean, I would imagine it's just like, it's such a unique program. I can definitely see the benefits of it. Don't get me wrong, but I was just like, holy crap. It's like, my joke was, we debuted a brand new computer system and we realized that everyone was fucking stupid. Like, that's what it was. It was like, holy crap, what the fuck happened?
Technology does have a unique way of making intelligent people look stupid.
We, all of a sudden, as a group or as a whole, like, just stopped thinking. It was like, the computer is going to think for me. Why do I can't do anything anymore?
Well, and there's like, dude, sometimes, okay, I'll be honest. Sometimes, like, okay, Microsoft Word, for example.
Okay.
I'm trying to write something in Microsoft Word. Now, I learned back on, like, the original Microsoft Word.
Okay.
Maybe it was, like, literally just Microsoft Text. Maybe it wasn't even Microsoft. I have no idea.
It's probably like WordPad.
We had, probably, you're probably right. So I'm used to, doing my own indents, doing my own whatever. Now, like, it wants to auto-format everything for me and do this and do that. And the minute that it does something wrong, like, I can't get it back to normal. And I know there's a way to, like...
Turn it off.
Take it all, turn it all off.
Yeah.
But I'm not fucking smart enough or patient enough to deal with that.
Yeah.
So, I get it, dude.
Isn't that funny?
I'd like to think I'm a fairly smart individual. But then when there's a tech problem, like, my first inclination's like, find a 10-year-old. They'll probably know what to do. Like,
you don't know how to do this, Tim?
Like, I remember
Control-Alt-Delete, obviously.
I have some cousins, and they're all young adults now, but like when they were younger, like it was always like, oh, I got this computer problem. I'm just gonna call one of my little cousins. They'll probably know how to fix this.
And then they'll do it, but in such a snide, sneaky, snarky way.
Right.
But you still will tolerate it because you're like,
I want the damn thing fixed.
Because it's easier for you to call that and sit through the beratement of like their 4 or 7 minute tirade about how stupid you are and how easy this is for them than it is for you to actually go on Google, take the 5 minutes, the average time of 5 minutes to figure it out on Google. And then really just kind of... Because if you really have no clue what you're talking about, Google's not going to be able to figure... computer clicky thing, sound...
Okay. Trying to do a Google search for something that you can't put into words is so frustrating.
How do you describe a soda if you've never had a soda? It's
poppy fizzy stuff.
It burns my throat.
Tingles my tongue.
I don't know. Dark in color or light or red,
Maybe clear?
Yeah, maybe clear. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like I remember there's good Lord. I think it was just like, how do you describe? It was like there was an interview question that someone had told me recently, and she was like, oh, one of the interview questions we ask is how would you describe someone who doesn't have any sight? How would you describe the color yellow to them?
What the?
No, and then you're like, oh, okay, and then she had heard something descriptive. It's very, very warm. Imagine something very, very warm and bright.
But if you don't have sight, do you?
No. I know, but it was just like it was a foyer into creativity.
No,
right?
I understand that.
Yeah, and it was just like, but then one of the
But
most.
it's like I have no anchor point because
it's true.
They don't. If you don't see colors, you don't associate any color with warm.
It's true.
It's just a temperature to you.
Yeah, it's true.
That's so, dude. That you just blew my mind, man.
No, I know. But then, like I think one of the answers that she heard, that she was kind of like, oh my god, it was like someone had literally said, it's kind of like orange. You're like,
right,
okay.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I can see the way your mind's working, and there's nothing wrong with that, but. Maybe.
No, there's just something wrong with you.
I know. Maybe it's like, how would you describe sushi? Well, it's kind of like sashimi. Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. Enough about this question. I can see that we're not going to go anywhere with this one. Oh.
There's no stupid descriptions, only stupid people.
Yeah, but honestly, it was such a unique interview question that I don't really fault anybody.
I actually really like it.
I like kind of creative questions like that or in that same vein because, I mean, honestly, everyone has to ask standardized questions. Why do you want this job? Why are you interested in this?
Questions, yeah.
No one's going to ever be like, my career's not going anywhere right now, and I just... To be honest with you, I think that there's an opportunity for me to do more resting of my back and my knees if I just go to your route than stay in my continuous route. And I know this pay is not any different, but maybe I can just play with my kids a little bit more, or not be so cranky on the weekends. That's why I want this job.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, I just feel like there's so many like standardized interview questions, and in plenty of jobs, they've just given me a list. These are the questions you're supposed to ask. Like, I love weird questions. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter what the question is, but any question that gets somebody out of their comfort zone.
Oh, dude, shake it up.
All right, yeah. Here's the best question I've ever heard. And there's not a right or wrong answer. There is a best answer that I've heard, but it is what it is. All right, Steven. So, am I interviewing for a job now?
Wait, are you gonna ask me the question as though I'm interviewing for it, or do you want me to ask you the question as though you're interviewing?
You don't know the question.
I don't know the question.
No, I'm gonna ask you because I don't know if I've asked you this question.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, here it is. Steven applies for a job at Tim Incorporated. Hello.
Okay. Hello, Stephen.
Oh, hi.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, very nice to meet you.
Chang,
Yes.
You have a phenomenal resume.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Your resume is almost as nice as your hair.
Oh, go
I
on.
must say, and it smells like pina coladas for some reason. Is that Gorilla Snot? Maybe.
No,
definitely not.
Today,
It's
this
too
is
light
a
and
job
fluffy.
interview.
Oh, okay.
I'm going full on Axe body effects.
Ooh, okay. So, Stephen Chang.
Yes.
Imagine this. It's a dark and stormy night,
Okay.
and you're driving a car that
Okay.
only has 2 seats for some reason,
Okay.
and you are in a place that you've never been before, and you will never be again, no matter what, regardless.
Hello, Portland.
You get to a stoplight. You've never been to Portland. Oh, and you'll never be again. Well, that means you can't go to Portland. Whatever, dude. So you get to a stoplight, pouring rain. You look on the corner, and you see 3 people.
Oh, okay.
You see an old lady that looks like she probably needs some medical attention.
Okay.
You see an old friend that you owe a favor to. And you see the woman who, for some reason, you know, right then and there, that's the love of your life.
Wow.
What do you do?
And I can only give this chair to one person. Well, I
There's
guess that's
2
part of the-
seats in the car.
Oh.
You can't like take the old lady to the hospital and then come back and get the girl. You can't do any of that. You can't go somewhere and come back. You can only do what you can do without coming back.
Huh.
So there's 2 seats in the car. You're driving the car. What do you do?
And wait, am I doing a visual assessment on them? Does anybody, I mean, let's be real. The women I've chosen, maybe not the best characters and qualities. Does she have like a head full of duffel bag? I mean, does she have a duffel bag full of heads and stuff?
No. This woman is perfect in every way. And I'm not saying there's only one woman for you, but if there's 1 or 2 or 3,
And
like,
all of them are soaking wet though because they're standing out in the rain.
they might have umbrellas. It's really not. It doesn't really make a difference.
What kind of? Well, I'm just saying, like if I'm driving a nice car, I don't want to necessarily get it all messed up in the back.
Your car's not nice. It's
All right.
it's a 1984 Gremlin.
Yeah, damn it, I am a working nurse. All right, and then how sick? Because grandmas are pretty young too nowadays. You know what I mean? Like you can be a grandma at 40.
Did I say grandma?
Yeah.
She's an old lady.
Oh, an old lady. Maybe you said old lady. And
She's old, but she's not so old that like well, the bitch is gonna die anyways. So why bother helping her? That sounded really cold.
Yeah, well.
But
Welcome to Project Reclamation. Cold-blooded.
Hey, I just figured that's how your brain works, being a nurse. I mean, that thought's got to cross your mind every now and again.
I guess.
No. I mean, she's
What do I do?
she's old. She's old. She's I don't know, 70s, maybe 80s.
And I can't. Uber is not like in the thing. I can't just call Uber to pick up the other one. Maybe it is.
I mean, I think when I first heard this question, Uber didn't exist. So I don't know. This is a new one.
Oh, so I'm throwing you for a loop.
Let's say no Uber, dude.
All right, no Uber. So I got to choose 2 of the 3, huh? Well,
You choose 2 people.
I don't know.
There's 2 seats, and you're in one of them.
Oh, then I choose one person to
I guess
take.
if that's what you want to do.
Well, chances
do
are I'll
whatever you
probably
wanna
see
do.
this friend again. So I'm
There's
thinking
there's a lot of options here.
And if it's the love of my life, but obviously I'm 37 and I haven't met her until now, I don't know if I can wait another 37 more years.
I don't know.
And then grandma or old lady, she looks very, very sick. But then if I don't take the old lady, then the love of my life is going to be like, huh, what a bad dude. And then my friend is going to be like, yeah, just like him not to choose her.
Because you still owe him that favor.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years it's been. So
Yeah,
maybe he
and
already
he's like,
kind of hates you.
He already's like, oh, just as I suspected that jerk face to do. But then, I don't know, if the old lady's like really sick and she's got like tuberculosis or even just kind of like a, I don't know, an infectious upper respiratory, kind of disease.
You've already put more thought into this than anyone I've ever asked this question.
Well, maybe, well, I don't know, man, shit. I would say I would have
There's
to
no
go-
wrong answer. Okay.
I would say, I think I would have to go with, God, I mean, do you go friends before
I don't know.
anybody else?
I don't know.
Automatically, I
have
know
to-
which one I don't want to take
Before I give you my analysis of the situation,
I know I
need
don't.
you
I
to
know.
answer the question.
Well, here I'll start with. I know I don't want to take the old lady. Too easy. Too easy.
It's not a trick question, dude.
Okay. Then
I think
do I
too
take?
easy is all the answers you're thinking of.
Do
'Cause
I
you're not
take-
thinking outside the box.
Oh wait. Well, yeah. What kind of am I? I'm driving a car though, huh? It's not like a banana boat where there's one seat. There's one extra seat, but it's like one of those long ones, huh? Where I can fit all three of them on there.
There's 2 seats.
Yeah.
There's 2 seats. Currently, you're sitting in one of them.
Oh, but I can't take them all. I can just have them sit on each other's lap.
No, it doesn't work. Because the car might bottom out, and then you'll all die.
All right. Well, I would honestly
Oncoming
probably
traffic.
choose the friend. I don't know why I'm saying that.
Loyal.
But then I could take him out. I could take his. I could take. Yeah. I could take.
If you
that
take
off.
the friend, you're loyal. If you take the old lady, you're caring. There's a better word for that. If you pick the love of your life, then you're passionate. There's no wrong answer.
No.
However,
Go on.
the one answer that trumps them all
Yep.
is I would throw my friend the keys, tell him to take the old lady to the hospital, and I would wait on the corner with the love of my life for a ride.
Oh.
Outside the box.
Yeah. That's why I don't work in that business, Tim. That's why I don't
What
do
business?
that. In your business of thinking outside the box.
It's not a typical sales. So no, I guess my point was, or like one of my favorite questions is, what's your favorite kind of cheese? Or no, I say, what's the best kind of cheese and why is it better than Swiss? Anything, any question I can ask them that I know they couldn't have possibly studied for and they have to actually just think, that's what I like.
Yeah, but everyone knows Swiss cheese is the best cheese, so I don't even know how could Swiss be
You know
better
what's
than
funny?
Swiss.
I've never heard that answer.
Really?
And I've asked that question probably 100 times.
Swiss cheese is the best.
See, that's what I think, and that's why I always say, and tell me why it's better than Swiss, because that's what I think.
I'm like, how is Swiss better than Swiss? Aha! How did I just outthink the
my
thinker?
God.
That's right.
So
I think
apparently you're the only other person that I know or have ever met in my life that also agrees that Swiss cheese is the best cheese.
I would say that if there was going to be a marble statue of me, just like Rodin's the thinker, I would just have my head resting on two of my fists.
What does that have to do with Swiss cheese?
No, because I just outthought the thinker.
Oh, who's the thinker? Am I the thinker?
The thinker is, well, yeah, I mean, I guess.
I know
it's
the
like,
thinker is that statue with the little...
Yeah. I guess that's how you would. Yes, then I just outthought
So
the
here's my
thinker.
question to you.
Go on.
What if we turn this podcast into a musical?
No,
Oh, okay.
because that would be like the greatest robbery. Bro, you don't want to know.
Oh!
Yeah, you want to know what the greatest robbery of all time is?
Hold on.
Yes.
So I'm at a gas station
Okay.
yesterday. It's
Uh-oh.
like 4
Wait,
in the afternoon.
I remember you being at a gas station 3 years ago.
I'm getting to this, which is
Uh-oh,
getting to
here
your
we
story.
go.
So I'm at a gas station. I'm on the phone with my mom. I was like, yeah, Mom, I got to get gas. She's like, where are you? I was like, I'm somewhere outside LA. Oh my gosh, keep me on the phone because I don't want you to get robbed at a gas station. I was like, Mom, it's daylight. Like it's on a corner with like a highly trafficked corner. It's definitely not a dark avenue in Oceanside somewhere. Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, in case you were wondering, a few years ago I got robbed at a gas station.
Bam.
So speaking of robbery,
Shit's real. Well, no, but wait, hold on. Did you actually get robbed? Wait, were you on the phone? Was this a dangerous gas station in LA?
I don't think so.
I mean, obviously you weren't robbed, yes.
But you remember when I was like 3 years ago, right?
No, I know, but today, like recently. you
No,
weren't.
no. It was just, my mom was just like, "Oh my God, you're going to a gas station." Yeah, Mom, I go to gas stations
Oh,
all the time.
dude.
It was just funny. That's all.
No, for
But
sure.
it made me think of robbery, and you had a good story.
Oh, I
about
had the
robbery.
greatest robbery story of all time, dude. You
All
think that Ocean's 11, great movie about a bank robbery, was pretty good, right? This makes me think about it. I don't know how I thought about it. I thought about this recently, but I had a buddy, Chris, a.k.a. Yuli Zorro, back in L.A., and it's still my friend today. Okay?
He was part of that Craig Robinson story, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Ah,
Damn,
yes.
that's my roommate. That's
If
my...
you guys haven't heard the Craig Robinson story, I would go back to, I think, the first Cheat episode.
Who the...
I want to say it was episode like 4.
Shout out to you, Craig Robinson. Your career has
Craig
taken off.
Robinson, you're the man. But Steve's story about getting drunk with you at a karaoke bar
From that
is
karaoke bar to
by
now, your
quite
career has
possibly
taken off.
one of the best stories ever.
Oh.
So back to Chris.
No, but-
Yuli Zorro. Or
Yuli's
whatever.
Oro, bro. Him and I used to be jersey collectors, jersey aficionados. We would look at jerseys.
like Jersey Mike sandwiches.
No, like jerseys like I'm wearing right now.
Oh,
like a
Steve is
hockey
wearing
jersey.
a Vancouver Canucks jersey.
That's right. The Go Canucks go. But
right.
short of the long is that we used to just stroll and troll like a Marshalls or something like that. Or LA had so many different like sports little stores that you could just pick up like a bunch of players that have been traded or a bunch of jerseys that were going out of date or out of style, and you would just pick them up, and we just loved it. We just loved it. But we also amassed like huge collections. Like he would have this big collection, and I would too. And so we would honestly just trade back and forth. I'd be like, hey, man, I like that one. And we would trade it like we were trading draft people or like, like real players themselves. We'd be like, I'll trade you this Mike Piazza jersey for ... And so one of the greatest robberies of all time is that I had a Ray Lewis black alternate color Baltimore Ravens authentic jersey by Reebok. And he had traded me Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, purple LA Lakers swingman, And the prices didn't match up, but it was how cool a player was. And if you lived in L.A., I mean, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was way cooler than Ray Lewis.
Blinded by your L.A.-ness.
I was blinded by my Hollywoodness. Yes, that's correct. And so when we did the trade, I did like this, and I was done. Little did I know, 10 years later.
If you had kept that Ray Lewis jersey, it'd be framed in your living room.
Oh, my gosh, because Ray Lewis, to me right now, is one of the coolest sons of gun. It goes like this. It goes like the sale of New York for all those like $40 of beads and like $40 worth of beads and like pennies and like shells. Then the Louisiana Purchase. Okay.
Also
bad. Then the Ray Lewis robbery, the great Ray Lewis North LA, North Hollywood robbery, Jersey robbery, and then it went in like the sale of Alaska.
Does Chris still taunt you with this?
No, but we talk about it every now and then, and to this day. And that's how we frame it, as in, like, he'll buy lunch, and I'll be like, yeah, you still owe me for some lunch, because even though the captain is a Hall of Famer, Ray Lewis is just, he goes down in folklore as being one of the coolest, like, he's almost like, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to be a little sacrilege, I won't even say it, he's comparable to a historic figure like maybe Jim Brown, where he's so inspirational. Other football players like love him and they just respect him and they revere him so much.
We're gonna get into this, but his passion alone
inspire.
It dictated the course of an entire season of national football.
Go on.
I can't.
Okay.
Because we're gonna get to it.
That's it.
It's in what we're about to talk about. So speaking of Ray Lewis, Steve.
Yep.
Last week you referenced a line from.
He's from the U.
He is from the U. Go Hurricanes.
Go Canes.
There's so many freaking awesome people from the Canes, dude.
Oh, dude.
So
University
many.
of Miami and Florida State.
I mean,
factories.
First of all, there is our personal Project Reclamation hero from day one.
Okay.
Dwayne.
Oh, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Yeah, he's from the U.
Yeah.
Number 94.
Yeah, dude.
He played along WSAP.
He gave WSAP his career pretty much. WSAP got to start because DJ was out with some sort of injury.
Warren Sapp.
He blew out his shoulder or something?
Probably.
I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Sorry, DJ. We love you, man. And you know what? That was probably the best thing that ever. What? The best things that never happened are the best things that happened? Something like that. Love you, DJ. So yeah, dude, you got Warren Sapp, you got Shockey, you got him, you got Portis.
I mean, the list goes on.
Dude, it goes on.
You have Gloria Estefan, you have Sylvester Stallone. It goes even deeper than that, bro.
They went to the U?
Yeah, bro.
I didn't know that, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Well, all right.
Alex Rodriguez, we got you, man.
Oh, look at that.
Don't even think. Don't even trip.
The U. Good stuff, man. So yeah, so Steve, you mentioned a line from a Ray Lewis speech, notably his Hall of Fame acceptance speech.
Oh, dude, if you haven't listened to it on the internet's machine, go do that right now. But you have to have 30 some odd minutes.
I'll be honest. I'm probably just going to tack it on to the end of this episode.
Oh, okay.
So just keep listening after DJ and our song play, and you'll hear it.
And dude, here's also another thing too. If you're a Cleveland Browns guy, you're a Pittsburgh Steelers guy, or whatever, you know what I mean? You're like, Ray Lewis from Lewis. Dude, just listen to this, dude. Because honestly, game recognized game. People always got to respect each other. And here's the deal, though. You would have I hate Tom Brady. But if Tom Brady was a New York Jet, oh my God, it would be a whole different case.
But if Tom Brady spoke like Ray Lewis spoke, I would just be like, I don't even care if I hate you because I can't stop listening. Because Ray Lewis is just, I don't care who you are. He's motivational as hell.
Oh, dude. There's a few people that can light it up.
Dude, I don't even know is he a preacher? Because he's like super religious.
He might as well be.
He speaks like, dude, I would go to that guy's church.
Well, dude, and
hands down.
I know he's got that swag. He's got that motivational swag. Bro.
Motivational swag. He has the passion. And notice
passion.
If you watch the speech,
yep,
he doesn't look at a note. Now, granted, he's running around. He's sweating through his suit.
Oh, he sweats through that Hall of Fame suit like nobody's business.
And you know what? So when I was looking up the speech, like I'm looking for transcripts, right?
Okay.
And the first thing that comes up is like, some ESPN official transcript.
Sure.
Cool. Done. All right. But it had all these pictures, and so I was looking for something like that was like more compact. It sounds stupid, whatever. I was trying to convert it to a Word document. But so everything on there is just people talking shit about Ray Lewis's speech. Like, oh, he's all over the place.
He's all over the place.
He's all over the place. He's sweating. He's running around. I'm like, that's why
he's talking about your gibberish.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm like, dude, that's what makes it awesome. Like I guess they normally, I don't usually watch these things, but I guess normally they're just speaking at a podium.
Yeah.
I guess he specifically requested to have like a clip on mic so he could fucking run around the place and just be Ray Lewis. But I met Ray Lewis once.
Did you really meet Ray Lewis?
Yeah. So
No,
I
you
was
didn't. Actually, the first time we ever watched a Super Bowl at your house was when the Baltimore Ravens had won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, their first one.
Yeah, their first one. But when did you
I
meet
was a
Ray
big
Lewis?
Ravens fan back. You know, I was telling you all like how I became a Chargers fan.
Yeah.
Back and you know what? I totally left out the whole Ravens part.
Well,
I loved the Ravens for a long time, and it was never really the Ravens. I loved
How
it.
did you, growing up in Goleta, have an affinity for Baltimore?
It was honestly something about Ray Lewis, and so I liked. I think it was I liked them, and then I met him,
Wait, when did you meet
and
Ray
I was
Lewis?
sold. Boom. So I was living with my buddy Josh in college. I think it was like 2003. And Josh was a bartender at TGI Fridays over in Mission Valley.
Wow.
So
that
it
is
was
no
like-
longer there, by the way, anymore.
I know, dude.
Oh.
That's crazy. It's like a climbing wall.
Yeah, that rock climbing place
Rock
just took
climbing
all the
gym.
business. Go
Yeah.
climb.
Anyways, so he calls me, and it must have been like I think it was a Saturday.
Okay.
Right? Or maybe it was a Friday. I don't remember.
Ray Lewis was not at a TGI Fridays. This is
hold
where
on,
it's
dude.
going.
Hold on. He calls me. He's like, "Hey, Tim, dude, there's literally nobody here but Ray Lewis and like 3 or 4 of the Baltimore Ravens because they were in town to play the Chargers."
That would make sense.
Yeah, and it was. I would say it was a Saturday, but I'm guessing it was a Saturday. People would be there watching college football.
Yeah.
So it must have been a Friday, like when people were at work.
That's
I don't
probably
know.
what explains why that TGI Fridays went out of business.
Maybe. So yeah,
no one was
so he
even there on
calls me and he
Saturday.
goes, "Dude, Ray Lewis is here." He goes, "You got to come down because I know you like Ray Lewis." I was like, "Well, yeah, dude." So I jet on down there. I walk in like I'm gonna go say hi to
Like you're gonna order
honestly, I'm like
a bloomin' onion or
I'm
something
like
like that.
21. I'm like 21 years old. I don't even know what they have over there. Like what their version of they have like the loaded potato skins or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
You're like, I'll have the coconut shrimp, please.
I used to go there all the time, but that's because Josh just got us drunk. But anyways, so I'm like 21 years old, right? So I'm rolling over there. I'm like, I get there and dude is just enormous and
Well, yeah.
frightening as all fuck, right? Like
He's got a 28-inch waist, like a 28-inch waist and like a 54-inch broad, like size
he's
shoulder,
just
like
a big
mound.
dude. So I'm like, dude, I don't know how else to do this. And Josh is like, well, dude. So like, I just walk up and I'm like, Ray, and he turns around. I'm like, dude, I'm a big fan. I just want to shake your hand and say hi. He's like, hey, man. And I look into his eyes, and it's like
He's got that like death
dude, he
grip
has
stare,
that steely, focused, like death stare. But then he opens his mouth, and he's just like the nicest dude ever. And he shakes my hand. He puts his other hand on my shoulder, and he's like, "It's so nice to meet you, man. I love the fans." He's like, "Sit down with us, have a drink."
Shut
Like,
at your face! I
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
you.
So-
How have you not told me this story until 2018?
I don't know, man. I don't know. So yeah, so I sat down.
I feel like this is that scene
I
from
have
Coming
a-
to America.
I have a drink
You
with-
not me, Cassius Clay, the best man in the world,
yeah, so-
Muhammad Ali.
So I had a drink with Ray Lewis. I don't even remember who the other. I think it was two or three other guys. I can't remember who they were. And I think
Sorry, Todd Heap.
I don't know that was either the year that they went to the Super Bowl or the year afterwards.
I'm trying to think of another Baltimore Ravens. Sorry,
even
Shannon
know,
Sharp.
dude.
Sorry, Todd Heap.
Who was their? Who was their? Was it?
I just saw Ray Lewis. That is
Who was
it.
their quarterback that year?
It was probably Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, Trent
Yeah.
Dilfer. That's exactly who it was. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Dude.
So yeah, I met Ray Lewis, and he's a frightening individual, but he's just so cool.
Oh, dude, if you don't know what his eyes look like when you're like talking to him, and this is just from everything that I've seen, I've never met him. I've never had a cool TGI Fridays experience
Sorry,
in
dude.
Mission Valley. But if you ever watch Tropic Thunder and you go and you like remember the character Lincoln Osiris played by Robert Downey Jr. and he like looks at him as soon as he gets his surgery done, he's like, ha. Hey, how's it going? And his eyes are all just like wide and fixed, and like his pupils are all just big and wide, like wide dilated, like 4+. Like, hey, how's it going? That's exactly
dude.
exactly it. Actually, that's
It was like
exactly
looking into the abyss. I was like, oh my god.
But he's so fixed and focused. You're like, holy crap!
Yeah.
I think we're going to go to fight today. I don't know why. I just think I should know it.
Well, at least if I get knocked out by Ray Lewis, that's a cool story
I
too,
know,
right?
bro. So who broke your jaw, Ray Lewis? Oh shit,
Yeah.
man! Tell me a story. I know you have
dude.
to use the feeding tube, but I'll buy you beer.
Right.
We'll put the beer down the feeding tube.
Yeah. So yeah, dude. Anyway, so we're this is a really freaking long speech, so we're not gonna dissect it like we've dissected our last few speeches.
No.
We're just gonna pick out some parts.
I'm just gonna pick out my favorites.
Steve's gonna pick out his favorites. I'm gonna pick out some parts, and then I'm gonna use one part to tell a story that I think kind of defines Ray Lewis and who he is and what makes him who he is.
Now, one thing I will tell you this much is that people out there that are listening, you think, oh, Ray Lewis is just, oh, we're just going to butter Ray Lewis up. No, we certainly know that there were certain things in his past, like obstruction of justice from like a double homicide. We know that, Marsh. And we know that there are certain other things. But too, at the same time, I will tell you that we are listening to him and we're hearing his Hall of Fame induction speech. And we're breaking it down as a source of inspiration. And how does someone come from a source of negativity to be such a positive motivator and positive inspiration for other people? That's what we're trying to take this as.
Backstory. I mean, he was born to a single mother in a. I think he was born in Florida. I'm not really sure.
Maybe they lived in Florida for a little bit.
Anyways,
Everyone always
he was
winds
born
up
in a
Florida.
very rough neighborhood with no father and a few siblings, and I believe his mom was 15 when she had him. So, I mean, he wasn't exactly set up for success, but he came out of that. And there is that whole double homicide thing. We won't go into that. Although you could maybe say, hey, to get out of that and then come back from that and then be who he is today, I mean, that's a hell of a road. But again, we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on this one speech, and I'm going to go out on a limb. You just go ahead and look on YouTube and just watch any Ray Lewis speech. They're all pretty amazing, dude. If you spend 3 hours going down a Ray Lewis rabbit hole, it probably won't be a waste of your time.
And one of the things I will also let you know is that I lived in Washington, D.C., which is about 48 miles away from Baltimore, and I lived there during the time they won their second Super Bowl. And I will tell you that the Skins have always been terrible. They were terrible every single year. Even with RG3, that was like this huge kind of like one-up bubble that we were like, wow, Washington football is great again. But then Baltimore was just better. Baltimore fans were a little bit more, I wouldn't say they were better. I would just say they were so passionate about their team because they had two teams. They had them and the Orioles. And, man, they loved them. Dude, I mean, they just loved them. Like, they loved him to death.
Well, and Ray Lewis, then and now, does a lot for that community.
Oh, dude!
And I mean,
he put Charm City back on the map.
I mean, and I don't think he said in this speech, but he said in other speeches where he equates football to lowering crime rates and keeping people off the streets. And when I don't know the facts on this, but I would venture to guess there wasn't a crime committed in Baltimore during a Ravens game.
Dude, I'm telling you, on days in D.C. at least where the Skins were playing, dude, there was nobody out. No one was going to check. No one's checking in the hospitals. That much I did know. You were checking in the hospital. You waited till that heart attack. You waited till that game was over before you were still clutching your chest the whole time.
Nitroglycerin. Nitroglycerin.
Fourth quarter, the Skins won. Time to go to the hospital. This is the big one.
But that's just regular fans, and then but you bring that to the next level when they had Ray Lewis to latch onto, because
Ray Lewis is a generational player. He is a generational leader. Okay,
he is.
And not only that, you take a city like Baltimore, very very blue collar. I know Baltimore because they got pit beef there. If you've never had pit beef in your life, go to Chap's Pit Beef on the Pulaski Highway. You're gonna be
what? Oh God, what is pit beef?
Pit beef is like they literally roast it over an open pit. They don't use like a bar. There's no barbecue grill. Like griddle marks, like those old steel kind of like shed things, like not chicken wire, but it looks like that heavier duty kind of chicken wire,
like a crosshatch kind of
crosshatch probably. And then your meat has that kind of crosshatch. It looks like an old country kind of like it looks like an old kind of Maryland barbecue kind of deal, dude. Oh my gosh, dude! In fact, if you have time. It is dry. It is dry, but then they put some stuff on it. You can put like what do they call that? They call it tiger sauce. At least at Chap's Pit Beef they did.
Is it made with tiger blood?
No, it's like horseradish and like some mayo. Probably some tiger in there though.
What didn't Ray Lewis use like that big deer antler like spray or some shit like that?
Probably for like human growth, like for probably growth regeneration. But
I could see Ray Lewis like going out and like hunting tigers.
Do yourself a favor, people that are listening to this podcast. After you're done listening to this speech, go on YouTube, go to Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and go find Guy Fieri's trip to Chap's Pit Beef in Baltimore, Maryland. Oh my gosh, you will book a flight. You will go from wherever you are to BWI. You will get off and you'll just go take me to the Pulaski Highway. There's going to be 3 strip clubs. There's going to be a this is how this place has survived. It is literally like one of those like sheds that stays out in front of like the Orchard Supply Hardware or something like that, or like the Lowe's. And they just fucking just cook. They sizzle up beef in front of it. And right across the street, there's a nudie magazine store. And then right in front of it, there's like the strip club, like right next to it. And then right across the street, there's like another strip club.
So everything I know about Baltimore, I learned from the show The Wire. And what you're saying is pretty fucking accurate.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you. All right. It is probably like 14 minutes outside the city of Baltimore, worth every single bad neighborhood you have to get through, go through to get there, man. Oh man, it is delicious.
Awesome. And then while you're Googling Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, go check out his visit, one of his many visits to San Diego, and Hodad's Burgers, amazing.
Dude, I just was talking to some new. I know we're getting off subject, but we're going through the food carousel.
I bet you Ray Lewis would love Hodad's.
Oh, I don't think Ray Lewis can handle Hodad's. Oh, actually, his metabolism.
No. Ray Lewis is one of the few people who could probably take the double bacon cheeburger at Hodad's, and he could actually bite it from top to bottom because nobody else can.
Nobody else can. That thing is thick.
Yeah, and he would first of all motivate the burger. Yep. He would inspire it, and then he would preach it into submission, and then he would eat it.
Genius.
Yes,
and he would also eat a full stack of frings. And then also, bro, he would honestly take on one of those chocolate shakes that is literally, I think it's just They literally pretty much just let ice cream just get about near room temperature, like a whole gallon of ice cream at room temperature, and they put a straw in it, and they're like, "Here you go."
And it's one of those where you get the shake in the glass.
Oh yeah.
And then they give you
the metal tin.
Usually they give you the metal tin with like the leftover.
Yeah.
At Hodad's you get the metal tin, and somehow the metal tin is completely full too.
Oh no, it is like pouring over.
Like,
it is like literally pouring.
How did
over.
I just get 2 shakes? Like what just happened?
You're like, wait, I thought I just ordered one. Yeah, you did, honey.
Like,
and then like the
Fat Tim probably never complained. But, whatever. Dude. So
but getting back to this
let's
speech.
kind of dig into this speech. So one of the things, so Ray Lewis is I just 2 things I'm just going to say about it. He's iconic. He
52.
He has no shame in his love for God and his religious beliefs.
Sure.
But also what I love is he focuses on love and a message of love.
That's awesome. That's
And,
probably how he's able to inspire so many people.
I was watching his show Blue Bloods, right? And there's this one kind of and we won't go into this too much, but anyways, there's this one guy who's a very polarizing figure. He's kind of a race baiter, whatever. And he comes in and he's talking to the police commissioner, and he quotes, and the mayor's there too, and he quotes Malcolm X and blah 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 blah. And then and then the police commissioner, right before he leaves, he says something and walks away, and then and he turns to the mayor and he goes, "Well, what is that supposed to mean?" And he looks at him. He goes, "Martin Luther King." So he was quoting Malcolm X.
Oh.
And then the police commissioner quoted Martin Luther King, and he didn't even know that was Martin Luther King.
Gotcha.
But I think that the difference is, and the reason I say that is because Ray Lewis quotes Martin Luther King a few times in his speech.
The king himself.
But he focuses on Martin Luther King's message of love, because like him and Malcolm X had a similar message. They just had different ideas
Sure.
of how to get there. But I just really love I love that he focuses on just love, and like, he could stand up there and say a million different things. He could talk about, kneeling during the national anthem, but no, he just talks about love and how like together we're all going to make things better.
Let me ask you something before we even dive into this, bro. You and I have been a fan of sports, football in particular, for a little while, for a long while.
Sure thing, buddy.
Okay. How many, and we obviously know some Hall of Fame, we can rattle off 20 Hall of Fame greats right now, I don't think I've ever, and I mean this, I don't think I've ever remembered or wanted to know or wanted to investigate further into anyone's Hall of Fame speech, ever. I've never even Michael Jordan himself, when the famous meme of him crying is all over the place.
I didn't even
now.
know that existed.
Yeah, well, you're obviously not in touch with the social world like I am, Tim. I'm so above it.
Are you back in it?
No.
Okay. Probably better that you stay
No.
away from it,
But it is everywhere. They put it on shirts and everything like
dude,
that.
That's awesome.
No,
Or
but
not.
short of the long is that it's seriously I've never paid attention to anyone's Hall of Fame speech, but Ray Lewis's, I was I heard about it, and I heard it just kind of create a groundswell, and if I hear about it, nowadays, now that I'm off of social media, dude, that must be something, and so I decided to YouTube it, and honestly, for probably 33 minutes or something like that, I was enthralled. I was just sitting there.
So I had never watched or heard anyone's Hall of Fame speech,
Right?
period, or cared.
Dude, do you love Dan Marino? Sure.
I didn't
Do
even
you love
know-
Marshall Falk? Sure.
Yeah.
You love Steve Nash, Magic Johnson? I mean, dude, the list goes on.
But even though I'm saying I love all these people, I'm still not going to go Google any of
I've
their
never
speeches.
listened to any one of their speeches.
I hadn't, and I'm a guy who I've listened to a lot of Ray Lewis's speeches. I've heard him.
Okay.
I used to take Ray Lewis speeches and put them on my iPod when I went.
Really? Okay.
When I said this last episode, when I went to the gym, I would have half motivational speeches, but not thoughtful motivation. It had to be like him, someone who's very passionate.
Yeah.
It had to be that kind of maybe with some music behind it.
That on the border of being insane.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I, until you mentioned it last episode, had never heard his Hall of Fame speech.
Wow.
So I went and I listened to it shortly after.
Who inspires the inspirer? I did.
And like you, I was enthralled for 33 minutes. Now, on my drive home today, granted,
Did you watch it or did you just listen to
I
it?
watched it the first time.
Oh, yeah.
On my ride home today,
You have to watch it.
I was in the car, and I was driving in a car, not I don't whatever. Anyways,
And then you saw three people on the corner.
because I knew
and
we
it
were
was
going to
rainy.
talk. I knew we were going to talk about it. I kind of had to listen to it at least once, but I listened to it twice through, and I wasn't bored. Period. Ever.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So
I felt like putting on some pads. I've never played football, organized football a day in my life, bro.
absolutely. So one thing, real quick, I'm just gonna kind of go through this a little bit chronologically, but like I said, it's super freaking long, so we're gonna skip most of it. And you're just gonna have to listen to it for yourselves. And you know what? Tell us what you think. ProjectXreclamation@gmail.com.
Project.
So he talks about numbers. Numbers are very important to him, and I believe the number 5 and 7 are extremely important to him. And obviously,
52 himself.
52, 5 and 2 equals 7.
Yes.
He played 17 years in the league. He went to Super Bowl 47, and he got inducted in the Hall of Fame the year of Super Bowl 52. So, and
Wow.
he was born on 5/15/75. and his mom was 15 when she had him.
Wow.
So he's got a lot of these. So it's always, so he talks about, the numbers, and he always says they're signs from God. And I guess what I'm saying by this is whether you believe in God or not, I think be it numbers or just anything, I think we talked about this before, but I think just it's always, whether you believe in a higher power or not, it's important to pay attention to signs.
Yeah.
Because I think they are there if you pay attention. And I'll go back to a story I told a long time ago, but shortly after we started this podcast, and I think we had maybe recorded we had recorded a couple of episodes. We had a couple of ideas.
Yeah.
So it was like a Saturday, and JB and Steve and I had all been talking about forgiveness. And like we were kind of digging really into forgiveness and just how important it is and how hard it is, but how important it is. And then so that's kind of the preface to the story. So I woke up on Sunday. I had made a deal.
To church.
I had made a deal with my mom to start going back to church.
Nice.
Yes. So I go to church. I'm getting ready, and when I get ready, I have a little shower speaker. So I like to throw on like a podcast or something while I'm kind of showering, getting ready. So I open up my podcast thing, and Tim Ferriss has an episode called How to Make Your Podcast Better or something. I'm like, oh, well, we could use this. So I'm listening to that. So I'm like, okay, sign number one. I was like, it's kind of weird. Yeah, like we were just talking about it. So I get to church, and guess what the sermon's about?
Forgiveness.
Yes.
Bam.
And not only about forgiveness, but literally talks about some of the exact same things that we had touched on the day before when we were talking about our episode forgiveness. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, God, I get it. That's two. I was like, you throw a third one at me, and that's like a slap in the face, and I'm just, I can't argue with you anymore. So then we get to the end, and some other pastor comes out, and he's talking about some freaking retreat they're having, right?
Nice.
And it was like the theme of the retreat was reclaim your life.
Wow. Take that, Project Reclamation.
I was like, well, I get it. So whether you believe in God or not, or the giant spaghetti monster up in the sky, whatever it is, or nature or physics or magnetism, doesn't matter. Just people or yourself. Like just be open to looking for signs. And I think that is all I took from Ray Lewis's thing. Also, on the topic of forgiveness, the next part here, what he does is he thanks his father, and he says is that he loves him, even though he never knew his father.
That's awesome. So
I think that's extremely powerful because he can hold that against, he could be angry for that forever, but he's not. He lets it go.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Ray Lewis's family, although I do know that he makes a very, very poignant section in his speech when he's talking to his kids, and he certainly thanks all of his family members, his brothers and sisters and stuff like that, and certainly his mom. But then he also expresses a lot of love for his kids, and he tells them that he kisses all of his kids on the mouth, including his sons. And he's like, don't get it wrong. Yeah, don't get it wrong. But honestly, I say this, like a father's love, like if you're a dad and you have a son, and that's your boy, or that's, your boys, or, however many kids you have, like those are your kids, those are your precious jewels. And that's you. That's like your life incarnate. So it's just like, he never had to apologize for that. That's obviously beautiful. That's honestly a beautiful, touching moment. A lot of people don't even show a lot of love like that. And that's what we need more of, honestly. And
I love that, he grew up without a father. And if you grew up without a father, an abusive father, a lot of people end up going down that same road.
And they end up being not so good characters themselves. We don't blame, we're like, wow, we understand it.
But he makes a valiant effort to give his kids what he didn't have, and I think that's extremely powerful. And you said that triggered. I think this is around the same part. He said, that's all daddy can give you. That is all daddy can give you. I can buy you many things, but the reason I'm with you right now and every one of my kids is because of the truth. What I didn't have, the touches, the hugs, the kisses, that I give you. I never had that. I never had a father physically touch me and tell me that he loves me. That's why I hug you guys so much. That's why I'm still kissing you on the mouth. Yeah, I kiss all my kids on the mouth. Don't hate. Stay with me now. Don't hate. I know. I
don't think there was anyone booing him in the audience or anything like that. I think that was him like being maybe a little bit, because nowadays it's kind of weird sometimes. People have been so hypersensitive about it. But honestly, I congratulate you, Ray. That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Like, dude, being a good dad, like, no, you don't have to apologize for anything. As long as you're there and you're always there to provide like a hand of support, also a stern hand of like discipline too. But like, dude, that's awesome. Like, dude, I'm not congratulating him just because he's a good father. I'm saying that's obviously his job that he decided to take on when he decided to become a father. But I'm like, that's so cool though.
But I like when he has the audience that he has, that he makes that a big point. how important it is to be a good father.
Oh, dude, show love to your kids.
Because there's a
Show
lot of
love
people that
the
look up
people
to
you
Ray
guys are-
Lewis, and there's a lot of people that look up to Ray Lewis in a lot of different communities. But he has that audience. So yeah, it's being a good father is your fucking job, dude.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna give him points for that, but I will give him points for making it such a big deal
In
with
his
the
life.
audience that he in his life, but also with the audience that he has, people that
Yeah.
look up to him, because he could. He could talk about football a lot, but literally 20% of his speech is about actually his football career, which is what he's being honored for.
Yeah.
And love it or hate it, he uses his speech to talk about love and family.
Dude, I will tell you.
And that's awesome.
That is awesome, man. Because think about this, and I will tell you this. Ray Lewis is very, very fortunate in life because he has a platform that many, many people would die to have, would love to have, right? And some people already have that, but they don't do very, very much with it. They don't do anything with it, maybe, some people. So if you have that platform, you owe it to, I guess, yourself. If you are that impactful in an individual, or if you do have an opportunity to impact others, I almost would argue that you owe it to somebody to be positive, or to show love, or to show gratitude, or just like you did, even if someone comes up to you on a random TGI Fridays on a Saturday night, and it's like, hey man, how's it going? My name is Jim. Dude, you owe it to be nice and cordial, right? Because they're the ones
so
who
many
are.
people aren't though, dude.
I know, and that's the problem. That's like the point is that, dude, you're not. Very, very few people will ever have your job, and you yourself, if you are a professional athlete or do have like a platform to kind of speak on because of celebrity fame or whatnot, it only lasts so long. So with that, do something with it, be positive, because we're not asking you, like, trust me, you'll be long forgotten 13 years after your career, 20 years after your career. Some people will just, oh, you played in the league? Oh, I didn't know that. If you're going to be an athlete, be an athlete. Like, just soak it up. Like, sign in extra autographs, you know what I mean? Take extra photos.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that will only go for so long. Like, that only lasts, like, an NFL career at max only lasts, what? A season, 3 years maximum. That's the average, or something like that.
How many players that were good players that played that, let's say, retired the same year Ray Lewis did?
Yeah.
I mean, how many we've forgotten on most of them?
That's what I'm saying. Like, because sadly we live in a culture that's, hey, what's up next? What's up next? What's up next?
Well, but
Who's up next? Who's up next?
But on the same note that he's using his platform for good things.
Yeah.
Because he's using his platform, that platform has really only gotten stronger.
Oh my gosh, has it ever?
Yeah.
You would think that somebody who was that to the extremes, like would kind of just burn people out a little bit, and maybe like, oh, okay, well, maybe we need a break, because obviously we live in at certain times now where people just are so extreme now, and so you're like, oh, okay, I've listened to this person for X amount of days, months, years, whatever, I'm done, I'm good, but we need a break. Dude, people to this day, if he shows up in Baltimore, oh my gosh,
he's a hero.
All of Maryland, all of the Mid-Atlantic, people love Ray Lewis, and in the NFL, people love Ray Lewis, dude.
He started a company in Baltimore to create jobs and lift the community up, and he's just using his platform, and it just keeps getting bigger.
For a blue collar city that doesn't have very, very much, and I've been there a lot, actually, to be honest with you. I went there a lot. I never was resident. I watched
The Wire, so I know.
I watched an HBO miniseries that took place over 7 years. Yeah. No, but I will tell you that Baltimore has a lot. Baltimore is a fascinating, cool city. But one of the things that it does need sometimes is maybe that, like, shining light. Thank you, Michael Phelps, right? Thank you, Under Armour. Like, these are huge
Under
companies.
Armour's a Maryland company?
Yep. Yeah, they're literally located in the harbor, like they're across the harbor from...
Wait, did you say they need a ray of light?
Oh, see, look at that. Bam. And you know what? To be honest with you, Ray Lewis was always repping their products all throughout, man. I don't know if he initially signed on to like Nike before he ever did it, but he retired in Under Armour's, baby. I mean, dude, he was nasty.
And he's the type of guy that probably would, I mean, they may have paid him, I'm not sure, but he's the kind of guy that probably would have worn it just because it was a Baltimore company.
Dude, he's all about that, and that's awesome.
It's very cool. And he's not even from there. That's what I love about it. Like, he literally moved to this city and just adopted it because it needed someone like him. It needed a hero, and he was the hero.
It needed an uplifting figure, right? And sometimes people rally behind those figures. And Ray Lewis, one, he could identify that he needed it, and two, he had the shoulders enough to carry that.
Literally,
a lot
and
of people,
physically.
No, a lot of people go, I identify with them needing a leader, but I don't know. I want to do some other thing. I want to do my own life, and that's fine. Yeah. Everyone's dedicated. You can do whatever you want with your life, but sometimes people just don't step into that light.
No. And he remembers his roots, and he's proud of it. And I like how he's not ashamed to talk about
struggles,
the struggles, and sports keeping him out of a life that could have gone a completely different way.
Yeah.
And I think, you and I were talking before this about, crime statistics in football. And we kind of mentioned it earlier, but in one of his speeches, what was he saying? He said something about...
He said something in
during
effect
the strike. Is that what it was?
No, it was in 2000. If I have this right. Oh my gosh. It was in... I am trying here. WJZ, it was I guess a news-based company in Oregon, TV-based news in Baltimore. But he basically was giving on the eve or something like that of perhaps another NFL lockout. He had said, hey man, if there's no football, crime will increase across the country. And specifically speaking to Baltimore, I mean, it was, he's not wrong.
No.
He's not wrong. Football, amazingly enough, is, and we know this on some deeper, sadder level, Tim, you and I, and also all the inhabitants of San Diego that were followers of the Chargers. But football, amazingly enough, like rallies cities together like nothing else. I don't know why.
It does.
I don't know why. Baseball has lost it. I will tell you that much. Baseball used to be that, I guess.
Yeah.
But baseball is no longer it. I will promise you that much. It is all NFL because it is all NFL all 12 months of the year now.
Well,
you have all sorts of signings and all sorts of news-breaking late things that are happening far beyond the Super Bowl that are of interest. Even the NFL Combine, I think, gets more people watching it than some games in baseball. Probably 90% of games in baseball, excluding like Dodgers, Giants, or like Yankees, Red Sox, or something like that. But I will tell you, like, it is so true. It is so true.
Yeah. Well, and just kind of one thing that since we were talking about like love and family and all this, one thing that I really like in his speech is he brings up his mom a bunch of times in his speech, and I mean. You can just, and it pans to his mom every time. And that's why you should really listen to it at the end of this episode, but you should probably YouTube it and watch the whole thing. It's super cool.
Watch it just for your own benefit.
But he talks about his mom and he says, through my life, I've always been asked, who's my favorite hero? Like, who's my hero and who's my sports hero specifically? And I always say my mama. And I thought that was super cool because he knew like his mom sacrificed for him. His mom gave him the ability to be the man that he is. I mean, she raised him. I'm sure she could have given up for adoption, or she could have done a ton of things, and she didn't. She kept him and she raised him, and she raised his brothers and sisters, and it sounds like she did a hell of a job. And also, I think Ray Lewis, whether you agree with it or not, he rests so much of his values on faith and God, and it sounds like his mom was really the one that instilled that in him. He says his most valued possession is the Bible that his mom gave him, and one of the things that he quotes that he remembers is his mom always said, a family that prays together stays together. And I'm not trying to go all gaudy on this, but he, it's Ray Lewis and that's where he goes. So that's where we're going to go. But I like how he calls his family prayer warriors. I thought that was super cool. But to touch on something that I alluded to earlier, how his last season really, really inspired me. I don't know if you know anything about Ray Lewis. His last season, he declared at the beginning of the season that it was his last season. He basically pulled a Babe Ruth and he called his shot. He said, this is my last season and we're going to win the Super Bowl. So he talks about this in the speech. He was playing against, they were playing against the Cowboys, and Romo dropped back to throw the pass. Ray Lewis reached up to see if he could knock the ball out, and he heard a pop. And he had torn his tricep. His tricep completely tore away from the bone. Now, being Ray Lewis, in true like Ronnie Lott, cut my pinky off so I can finish the game fashion, I met Ronnie Lott too, by the way.
I met Ronnie Lott
Cool
as
guy.
well.
Oh,
wow,
you
we
did?
both met Ronnie Lott at
dude.
different times.
But did he
Ronnie Lott.
Did he touch your butt?
No, that's weird.
Definitely touched my butt.
Did he touch your butt with his like quarter?
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. I was
quarter
listening to our
pinky
last
hand?
episode, and I love our episodes, but man, do we leave some things unfinished. So I'm going to finish this one.
Ever.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to have to run some corrections here in our next episode. But so he reached up, tore his tricep. So he played another couple of minutes with a literally torn away from the bone tricep. And then finally, when he went off the field, probably because defense was no longer on the field, the team doctor was like, Ray, I hate to tell you this, but you have a torn tricep, and nobody ever recovers from this. Nobody ever comes back from this injury. But Ray Lewis, the next day, he called up the coach and he called up the owner and he said, hey, don't put me on IR, injury reserve, which meant that he wouldn't be able to play the rest of the season. He goes, don't put me on IR. I'm coming back. Then he said that. And the Ravens had a pretty good year. They didn't have a great year, and they weren't the best team in the NFL that year on paper.
I wonder who was. Who knows?
Probably the 49ers.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, the 49ers were strong.
Yeah, they were really, really good.
They were strong. Ray Lewis came back that season, right before the playoffs started. And just because of it was his last season, because he's just such a presence in his aura, the fire that ignited in that team, you could see it. Even if you weren't looking for it, you could see it on the field. and they tore through the playoffs. They tore everyone apart. That was probably better than they were. They got to the Super Bowl. They played against the 49ers. On paper, the 49ers were a way better team. My buddy Casey is a huge 49ers fan. I was like, Casey, I know you think this is your year, and it would be if you guys were playing anybody but Ray Lewis. And I didn't even say the Ravens. I said Ray Lewis because the fire that Ray Lewis brings to that team, they are going to want it more than anyone has ever wanted anything before. And a man that has nothing to lose and has that much passion, that much fire, and can ignite not only a whole team, but a whole stadium and a whole part of a country, a whole half a country probably. I was rooting for this guy because I'm just like, I liked Ray Lewis at the time, but I mean, I loved him that year because I was like, dude, this guy called his shot.
Yeah.
Like, and just the fire that he brings to it. So the short of the long, as Steve would say, the Ravens tore the 49ers apart in that Super Bowl. And Ray Lewis, as his last game as an NFL player, he got to hoist that Lombardi trophy up, and that was how he walked off the field. And there's no better
Jerome Bettis of him.
Well, and it's funny because he actually when he says that he calls Jerome out. He goes, Jerome, I know you'd know that. You'd know what I'm talking about.
And it's very, very John Elway of him.
Yeah. So I mean, but I think just that's such a powerful one because of the fact that they weren't the best team, but they just wanted it more than everyone else.
Yeah. You know what? It's cool to watch. I swear to gosh, like I said, I die for a successful football team because I want moments like that. Because moments like that inspire you in and of yourself. Could you imagine imagine just being a Baltimore Ravens fan since the very, very get-go, you know what I mean? And just rooting behind that team no matter what and seeing that all happen, seeing that sheer will and determination.
Yeah.
That must be something really, really kind of inspirational for you as a human being.
More of a Ray Lewis fan than I was a Baltimore.
And I get it. People are more fans of players now than teams.
But I just really liked Ray Lewis. And honestly, I always gravitated towards teams with awesome defenses. Like in that same era, I loved Tampa Bay. I loved
Trent Dilfer also won it for them too.
I know, and he's not a very good quarterback. I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. He's
two-time Super Bowl winning champ. Is that correct?
But it was defense that won both those games, buddy.
Sure, that's true.
Well, also, dude, the Raiders didn't stand a chance when they were playing against Gruden and the Bucks, dude. It just wasn't going to happen. Like he knew their entire game plan. But yeah, so I mean, I'm saying I was never a diehard Ravens fan. I just always liked Ray Lewis, and I've always gravitated towards teams with badass defenses. But I just think that's super cool. And this kind of, I don't want to go right to the end of the speech, but one of the things he talks about is that he talks about the lion being the king of the jungle. And he goes, the lion's not the biggest animal in the jungle. It's not the most powerful animal in the jungle. It's not the smartest animal in the jungle. It's not the fastest animal in the jungle. Take that, lion. And you know what though? When the lion shows up, the lion's king.
Yeah.
Because he wants it.
True that.
So Ray Lewis, you're a lion, buddy.
Bro, one of the biggest things I will tell you is that Ray Lewis certainly is a lion. Not like those Detroit Lions either. I'm talking about like a lion and...
poor Barry Sanders.
I know. Well, Barry Sanders even left early. Barry Sanders was like, man, screw this, dude. I'm gone.
But for so long, man, it was like nobody denied Barry was one of the best running backs in the game.
To this day, people still think that he can lace it up, dude.
He just never had a chance, dude.
Dude, to this day, people still think that he can just... And I'm not even talking about, like, lacing up Under Armour, Nike new stuff. I'm talking about his old Apex indoor running,
his leather helmet.
Put on those new some kind of gloves, you know what I mean? With the leather stick 'em on the side, dude. And still kind of run him out. And he probably could still do better than, like, most running backs ever to this day, dude. That's a legendary... That's a once-in-a-lifetime talent right there, too.
I love when Ray Lewis is talking about when he's in college and someone's like, oh, watch out, this is the next superstar. He goes, but it was when Michael Irvin called me up. And Michael Irvin was a Hurricane too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when Michael Irvin called me up and he goes, now there's a hurricane. He goes, it's when Michael Irvin calls you that you know you made it.
Dude, And
I love Michael Irvin, dude.
Miami was all about this. It's like, have you never... I went down there to like check out a nursing school program, right? It was like Georgetown.
I don't know if you would have been able to handle Miami is just, dude, it's all...
Miami is like something else. Like I went and I stayed at a hotel. I remember I stayed at a hotel in Coral Gables.
It's all about work hard, play hard there, I feel like, dude. Like that's
Miami, bro.
Man. I know, dude. I know.
That's Miami. You have a $100,000 car. You have like a I don't know, a $40,000 a year job. You have a $100,000 car, and then you have like your studio apartment, man.
Well,
and
yeah.
you go to work, but you party. You
Well,
fucking
Michael Irvin,
party,
one of the
bro.
greatest players ever, and dude never stopped partying.
Dude,
I met him in Las Vegas a few years ago.
Okay, I'm tired of you meeting all these football players,
dude.
bro.
You know what's funny? I'd forgotten about all these stories until like right now.
Until we bring them on up. Thanks.
Oh
Ray
no.
Lewis.
Casey and I met Michael Irving at a casino in Vegas, dude. I'll tell you that story off the air.
Good lord.
Yeah.
Man, I'm
Good
telling
times.
you. The other thing is that you have to have like a series. You have to have a series of swag. You have to have so much swag with you when you go to the University of Miami.
But you know what though? They all do. Think about it. Like
No,
like
they all do.
Shockey
Jeremy
had
Shockey
swag.
was the
Portis
white guy,
had,
and
dude,
he
he was a
fucking,
white dude
like-
with some swag.
dude, that's what I'm talking
You
about.
Warren
man.
Sapp had major swag, dude.
The only
Rock
one
has
Miami
swag.
Hurricane I could not think of that had any swag that I was like, he went to University of Miami was Vinny Testaverde, man. I
No,
was like,
really,
that guy-
dude. He was like
that
he
guy-
should have gone to Ohio State,
Dude, that guy would have been
Or
a
like-
bowling green
Yeah,
quarterback, and
it's
I'm
like,
like, oh,
dude,
Vinny Testaverde.
Boise State.
But mind you, he was also one of the greatest jet quarterbacks that we've ever had, so I give him a lot of credit.
But
I mean,
he's
that's
just
it.
one of those. He's not flashy and swaggy. You know, he's
But maybe
more,
you left
he's
all
more
that
like very-
swag to your wide
He's
receivers and
very.
your position
He's
players.
just. He's more of like your kind of go-to. I mean, not unlike Trent Dilfer. He's like just very dependable. Like he's a
Yeah.
very dependable like like
Pocket quarterback.
Yeah, like just kind of a very technical quarterback. Like
Yeah.
he's not gonna break away and run. Like he's not gonna do a lot of that stuff. But yeah, just a very dependable sort of textbook technical quarterback.
Because, bro, you think about back in 2001, was it? Ken Dorsey? Holy crap,
yeah,
bro.
dude.
That was a skinny white kid, right? He looked like he was like, and Ken Dorsey, you know I'm a fan of yours, okay? Because I remember your name, okay? And then he would just like sling it. He was just a gunslinger, dude. As soon as he snapped that ball, I felt like he had 25 seconds every single time to throw that ball. The play clock would run out, and they would just give him more time. They would just like, oh, man, he had forever to throw that ball.
Yeah. And then, dude, he just chucked it downfield.
Dude, and you thought he was the greatest thing in the world.
Who's that guy on the Raiders that could just throw the ball like 70 yards or something? Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, Jamarcus Russell.
I mean, he never added up to much, but man, was he impressive when he first came
Dude.
on the scene.
I remember he outthrew that receiver. The receiver literally went, and they had like an LSU pro day in Baton Rouge. I
That's
think
right.
he went.
to he went to LSU the year that they won, right? They won the title.
probably.
I think he did. Yeah.
The wide receiver run all the way down to Shreveport like Forrest Gump, just kind of running through dude, trying to still catch that ball.
Running.
And that ball was still in the air, man. It just never came down.
That dude had a cannon, man.
Dude, the guy was 745 pounds as a quarterback.
He
But
was
no, it wasn't like Jeff. It wasn't like.
was it Dante Culpepper was the first like really big quarterback though?
Yeah,
wasn't
and
he?
then there was like hefty Jared Lorenzen, hefty Lorenzen, right? Hefty lefty, right? And you're like, that guy should have not been a quarterback. But then you're like, oh, and then and then fucking Jamarcus Russell, who's all muscle, dude.
Yeah, dude, that guy was
dude's a fucking
stacked.
beast, bro. You're like, wow, they make him like this now.
But then I
Holy
don't
shit.
really know. He just sort of fell off the map. I'm not
Hey
really
man,
sure what
if you don't
happened to
have
him.
your head right, you need an opportunity.
Well, and dude, I don't know. I don't
You
know
got
what
a
to
lot
say
of
about
stuff.
as a Chargers fan, I should literally hate the Raiders, but I've just never been able to because I just feel sorry for them. half the
Bro,
time.
you don't hate nobody now no more,
Well,
dude.
no.
'cause
What I'm saying, even
honestly-
when I was a diehard Charger fan, like I always just kind of felt bad for the Raiders because I felt like no matter how much talent they had, like there was just something never right at the Raiders. Like they were the closest they ever got was the Super Bowl where they played against their old coach and just got fucking slaughtered.
there's like an underlying level of dysfunction to that organization, but that's okay though, right? Because that's what I mean.
And that's
they're
also
named the Raiders. It's like a
kind of
pirates,
their
like a group of
thing, though.
pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you look at them like anytime they could have the worst team, but you're like, man, but they had what's his name was one of the best quarterbacks in the game, like. Dude, and didn't
Rich Gannon? You talking about Rich Gannon?
No, I said cornerback.
Oh,
corner.
You talk about 24 himself.
Yeah.
Oh, why can't I think of him?
He has a crazy name. I can't remember it.
No, it wasn't Nandi Asmawa. It was the other one.
No,
it was fucking no. I got it. Charles Woodson.
No, not Charles. No, later than that. No, this is like recent. Did he end up going to the Jets? He might have.
Who is this?
I don't know, dude. I'm gonna have to figure this out. I think I don't know
how I can.
Anyways, dude,
Charles Woodson.
They had a cornerback that literally nobody would throw to that side because he was that good. But then they're still dysfunctional enough.
Dante Hall. Dante Hall's no longer there.
No. Dude, I'll figure it out.
All right.
Linners, I know you think I'm an idiot, but I'll be honest. I haven't paid attention to football in a while.
No, dude, because you've liked the Bears for a long time, and I'm gonna be honest.
You know what? I do always have love for the Bears, and again, there is a team who traditionally has had a badass defense,
dude.
In fact, this year, dude, their offense sucks, but their defense is
Khalil Mack.
Their defense is on point this year. They might be good. I don't know.
Dude, they're very good.
I know they're good.
They're
but
better
I'm saying
than what we got.
it's hard to. It's hard to win. Your defense has to be really, really good to go all the way with a defense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been done plenty of times, But
Damn.
it is what it is, man.
I'm telling you. One of the things I will tell you before we kind of wrap this speech up, because I love Ray Lewis so much, but one of the things I want everyone to know, because this is the one thing that got me, and of course,
All right.
he put it at the end. Of course it was at the end. But I will tell you this much. He was like, before he starts talking about your king of the jungle, like the lion speech.
The dash.
No, yeah, dude. He says, listen, our gravestone has a date. It's when you're born and a date when you die. And they got a dash in between. And that dash defines what your legacy is.
Listen, our gravestone has a date. A day when you were born and a day when you die. And they got a dash in between. And that dash defines what your legacy is.
How impressive is that? Because honestly, everything that everyone is, everything that you've ever done in life, you could have invented the internet like Al Gore did. You could have invented Facebook like Mark Zuckerberg. I'm just kidding with all these things. But the point is that everything that you do is just that dash.
And I feel like, I feel like
that sums up your whole life.
You can look at that two ways, though. Like, wow, that's disappointing. Like, it doesn't matter who I am. No. I'm just, I know you're not. You know, the dash, like that's all I am, no matter what I do. Like, that sucks. But I don't think that's how he means it. And I think Steve and I agree on this one. It means that is in an immeasurable, infinite amount of possibilities that you can do with that. And you can do anything with that because that's your legacy. And you can make your legacy whatever you want it to be. And you don't have to be the strongest or the fastest or the smartest. Honestly, if that last season of Ray Lewis's career, and honestly his entire career and his entire life is a testament to anything, along with a lot of other people we talk about, you know, you can do it if you want it.
Yeah.
And if you want it bad enough, as Eric Thomas said, if you want whatever it is as bad as you want to breathe, then you can make it happen.
He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I don't know how many of y'all got asthma in here today, but if you ever had an asthma attack before, you short of breath, SOB, shortness of breath, you wheezing. The only thing you trying to do is get some air. You don't care about no basketball game. You don't care what's on TV. You don't care about nobody calling you. You don't care about a party. The only thing you care about when you're trying to breathe is to get some fresh air. That's it. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
One of the craziest things I will ever let you know is that if you ever want to do something in this life and you ever feel like you need to be inspired again, this is how I inspire myself sometimes. Go to some place that's bigger than you are. Meaning that if you go to like New York City or Chicago, or even if I went to the one time that's actually really hit me like 10 tons of bricks, I went to go see the Terracotta Warriors in China. Yeah. And I remembered I was like this. I saw them. And you just see like you step in it. You're like, oh, where am I at? It's like you're like walking to some... Obviously, it's all structured the way they got plenty of tourism shops. It looks like Niagara Falls, you know, where it's like, okay, all these little tourist shops. And you're like, okay. Then you go into like this big old, like what looks to be one of those indoor kind of tennis centers or like indoor kind of football kind of facilities with a big old white tent on top of it. And you're like, what is this? And you step in and you're like, holy crap. What looks to be like 2 football fields like long. There's all these Terracotta Warriors, right? And they're, you know, they're each individually like sized as a human being. And they're like, you know, probably a foot apart from each other. But it's 2 football fields long worth of it, dude. And you see all these people and you're like, holy shit. Someone made this, like people, and it's just not any people, it's Chinese people. Chinese people made this. And so I was like, holy crap, like I felt so small in this world because you have like maximum or minimum, you have what the human life average is 78.8 years right now, right? So it's like, okay, let's say you just have 100 years. Give yourself, take some credit, right? You have 100 years to make something of this whole world, right? And some people do better than others. Some people do more than others. But no matter what, you're still that fucking dash, dude. You know what I mean? Birth date, dash, death date.
But that dash can be anything, man.
I know, and that's like so impressive. Like, like it just blows my mind, dude. And dude, you think about this too, like back in the day when, you know, before modern medicine or something like that. Oh, you're sick and you're 25? Oh, well, it was a good life.
Fuck,
it was a good life, bro. You know, I'm sorry that tuberculosis got you, man. That pneumonia is a real stinker.
Dude,
it wasn't even that, man. That paper cut can get you.
Dude, you went down like Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones.
Bam,
best character in the entire series, by the way. Yeah. And he got a little cut and then I'm infected.
And then you're done,
and then I
right?
died, dude.
What do you do with it? Oh,
most anticlimactic, awesome character death ever, by the way.
We put goat
Love you,
pancreas
Momoa.
on it. We spread sheep sheep's blood on it, and it
Sheep's
doesn't seem to
blood.
work.
We pack it with sugar.
We had the shaman come by, and it didn't seem to
blessed
work. I know. So it's like,
Although I bet you Ray Lewis could heal that with just like a
He would
blessing.
he would just
Ray,
talk at
Ray
it.
Lewis would just look at it and he would scare it, and
come
then the
on,
infection
bacteria.
would just, he would,
You can't
come on,
do
bacteria.
it. There's something better for you.
You
to
don't
fix.
want to
I
be
think
there. You don't want to
is.
be there, bacteria. We want you gone. So, I love it, and you're right, Steve. That is the best. That's the best saying in the whole thing. But I think the whole speech is Ray Lewis is super thankful. He forgives someone that he never needed to or has to or should forgive. He thanks his mom like no other. He talks about his family and his prayer warriors, and he gives shout outs to Urlacher and Warren Sapp and all sorts of different people.
WSAP.
And he talks about the Bears and everything. I mean, he talks about Steve McNair, and he talks to Steve McNair's mom every Sunday because they were buddies. And
Oh,
Steve
that's right.
McNair, awesome guy, horrible, depressing ending to his life, and nobody even really knows what happened, but it doesn't matter.
No. They did like a football life about it. It's pretty good. Watch it on
okay.
Netflix.
Then I will watch it.
No, watch it
'cause-
on Amazon Prime, dude. It is
Okay,
good.
all right. But he's a really good dude, and he's really, I mean, whatever you think of him before in this speech, I mean, he's a really good dude. He's so motivational, and he's just he's very grateful, and he's just very respectful, and honestly, he does everything for God, which is if you believe in God, that's cool. If you don't, then you believe in something, that's cool too. But just good dude. I'll tack the audio of the speech onto the end of this. But I still recommend watching it on YouTube.
Oh.
He's just a great guy, and all you people who wrote stuff on there talking shit about the speech, like F you, dude. You just don't get it, and you'll never get it, and I'm sorry.
No, and that's if you don't like it, that's
entitled to your own opinion.
That's what
fine.
you want to do. That's awesome. But I will tell you this much, dude. Number 52. I will tell you, I've never really been like solidly like I was never like, I'm gonna buy all your stuff and all your merch because I was never a Ravens guy, right? But I will tell you that like I am a Ray Lewis dude because I think he's a really, really inspirational, positive character.
Agreed.
And in football, but not just in football, obviously, like for other men. And I think if someone can be a strong motivational person for other men to do good things, then well, you certainly have my support, and I think that's awesome, man. Congrats, 52.
Yeah. Well, there was what was that Martin Luther King?
Tim right now is furiously going and reading over his page. Like
there was a Martin Luther King. Quote.
Comically, like when somebody like if someone was animating like someone reading a book really fast, and all they hear is like paper shuffling, like and then the fingers going across the page like it's going across the line. And then yeah, that's exactly what it looks like on this side.
Hey, dude, I found it. Found it. So we're gonna end with this, and this isn't as good as the one that Steve already talked about. Maybe I should edit this and flip it. No, it doesn't matter. No, but I think this is still a good one to end in. And I still think this is a good one to end with. He says, as Martin Luther King said, "Love is the most durable power in the world." And my life has been a testament to all his words. So yeah, love is the most power. And I'm not trying to be all lovey-dovey, but I think that we get more accomplished with love than hate. I think positivity over negativity. I'm a guy who comes from a long history of hate and negativity, and I am a far better person since I shed my hate and my negativity. And I mean, I've talked about it on this podcast a bunch of times about shedding negativity out of your life, and I think you should. And I think that's, despite some of the darker times in Ray Lewis's life, I think that's why he is in such a good place, and he's able to use his platform for good because he focuses on positive and love and bringing people up rather than tearing people down. And I think that's huge.
Dude, shed that hate weight, bro.
Shed the hate weight. That's right.
Shed that hate weight.
I don't know why I felt the need to say that in a really deep voice.
Well,
but
sometimes maybe that was you shedding it. Maybe that's how you go about shedding hate weight.
it's like a snake shedding his skin. Like, shed the hate weight. Yeah. So with that, Steven, do you have any final words?
No, thanks for listening to the podcast. You guys are still listening. Hey, man, Gary, I know you're still working hard at it. You're listening to this while you're at the gym. Kenny, I know you're listening to this while you're fucking grinding at that commute. From work. And Jed, if you're still listening, man, baby boy, I love it, man. I love it. Keep it going. I know you're working out, probably putting this podcast on in the background. So I appreciate it, man.
And Mom and Dad, I know if this podcast was shit, you'd probably still listen to it because you love me, and I appreciate that. But thanks for actually enjoying it. That means a lot to me. And, Coleman and Sienna, thanks for listening. Everybody out there, thanks for listening. All the people we don't know, you know what? Send me an email so I know who you are.
Send us an email so we
Yeah.
can just stumble across. We can shout out your name here on
Send me an
the
email.
podcast.
You know what? Right now, we don't get a whole lot of emails, so I will give you a shout out. You better believe it.
You better believe
Maybe
that.
we'll even make you some Project Reclamation stickers or something. Who knows?
Wow.
I know Sofa King guys, they send stickers and all kinds of cool stuff.
Man.
Maybe we'll make some shirts. By the way, shout out to Sofa King, Brad, Brent, Dave. We love you guys. You guys are awesome. So that's it, guys and
That's it.
girls. Thank you for listening.
you.
Until we see you again, as JB would say, be good. And that's it. Bye.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Ray Lewis for enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Diamond Lewis.
Baltimore! Baltimore! We're in the building, baby! Oh, listen to me carefully. When God tells you something, believe Him. Listen to me. No matter the journey, it's too many ups and downs. But boy, when you believe in 5:15:75, remember 5 and remember 7, because they're going to have a recurring attitude in my message. 5:15:75, my mother had me, ironically, when she was 15 years old. We had no other route out. As much, I'm going to say it first now, so I get it out the way. Father, even though you're not here, I love you anyway. I love you anyway, Daddy, wherever you at. Because that woman right there, 5:15:75. You hear me? Yeah. Remember what they told you when I was little? We ain't gonna make it. Ain't no way we gonna make it. Well, guess what, mama? We made it. Crazy, right? Tell you about numbers, 5:15:75, right? I played 17 years. I go to the University of Miami, right? And I get signed one of the last scholarships ever given, right? I didn't even have a scholarship. I wasn't even in the media guide. And the coach asked me, Randy Shannon asked me, what was the number you wanted? He said, the last numbers we got is these numbers. And I looked and those numbers was 5 and 2. And I said, give me that 52. He said, why you like 52? I said, because B-Dog, that's God's number. That's completion. I played 17 years. I leave 17 years. I go play in Super Bowl 47. I get inducted to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Super Bowl 52. Man, God's something else. Man, God's something else. God's something else. Numbers. You can play with numbers, but some numbers you can never change. We were playing Dallas. Never forget it, the last 17 years. I talked to my daughter privately and I told her, like, baby, this it for me. Daddy gonna let it go after this. I can't miss no more games. I can't miss my kids no more. I'm in the game playing Dallas. I got my whole stadium, the whole box, everybody in the stadium. And I drop back and Romo drops back. And I'm like, pick your hands up. Just knock the ball. You done read this play. Intercept it. Just grab it. I hesitate. Put my hand up. When my hand come down, pow. I hear a pop. And my tricep pop from the bone. And I said, no way, something's wrong. Because we know when something's wrong. I played about 6, 7 more downs, and I got to the sideline, and Dr. Curl, who's sitting in this audience right now, she touched my arm. And she said, Ray, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you got a torn tricep. And nobody's never came back from an injury like this. Now you know, if anybody know me, it can't be done. That's like pouring a gallon of lighter fluid on an open flame. Ozzy, Nu, where you at, Nu? I call you the next day. I pop my tricep. This is how crazy I am. This is how much I believe in God. I called Ozzy the next day. I said, Nu, call Steve, Ravens owner. What'd I tell you? I said, don't put me on IR. Coach Harves, what'd I tell you? Don't put me on IR. Ravens, 2012, what I told you? I will be back. Take care of what you got to take care of, but I will be back. Man, I came back, and boy, did I come back. Man, boy, did I come back. JB know what I'm talking about. Boy, when you walk off your last time and you leave with that thing, when you host that Lombardi, for your last time ever strapping up your cleats, it's a confirmation that I am living proof of the impossible. Living proof. Mama, you know what? I wasn't going to go here, but I got to because you something else. Man, listen to me. I worked through pain like I had never known and came back. And all them boys sitting there, Flacco, Tucker, all them boys, and all of Baltimore. Oh, did we host that Lombardi? And they tried to turn the lights out on us. Now let's just be honest. Let's be honest. If you grew up with me and my mama grew up in the projects, your light might get turned off every Friday. But Beyonce had just performed. So something had to happen. They didn't just go out. I promise you them lights just didn't go out. But that's the way you end a career. Right? You take that challenge. When you answer the call and you see the other side of pain, it's called glory. This is called glory. There's somebody sitting home right now. There's a young 10-year-old kid sitting home that don't have a father. And he's ready to join the gang. He's ready to give up. I'm telling you, don't give in. And don't ever give up. That ain't what we do. That ain't what we do. There are so many people that I want to thank here today. Listen, so many. But above all, I am so grateful for my God who gave me my strength in my darkest moments and humbled me in my moments of glory. There was, people always talked about my dancing, right? And they always like to see Sugar hit that thing. Now, Shay be calling out Sugar, right? And Sugar starts shaking on him, But, when I found out, seriously though, like, as I started going, and Harbs, you remember this, the conversation we had, right? Because I didn't want the light to necessarily be on me because it wasn't really about me. So, Doc, I was like figuring out, same power you talking about. So when I started coming out of the tunnel, I wanted to really start to honor God. So it was funny because when I went to the right, it was for the Father. When I came to the left, it was for the Son. When I came back for the middle, it was for the Holy Father, Son, all in one. Mama taught me God. Mama taught me God. Mama, you gave me every opportunity, no matter how hard it was. I watched you. And at 10 years old, I made a vow. A man will never put his hands on you again. I make promise of that. I always got your back. Yeah. You sacrificed for me. That's true love, Ma. That's true love. That's agape love. As Martin Luther King said, love is the most durable power in the world. And my life has been a testament to his words that all I learned is from your example, Mama. They ask me all the time, who was your hero growing up? Who was your sports hero growing up? My mama. My mama. My mama couldn't make it to my football games. My mama made it to one football game I've ever played in. One. 1985. 10 years old. First time. I ran a kickoff back. A fake reverse, 75 yards. Yeah, Bus, I ran the ball too. Don't hate. Yeah. Sugar was rough. Sugar was rough now. Yeah, Marcus Allen. I was Marcus back then. You know, I'm just saying. Stay with me for a minute, you know. But it was something else, man, to see, like, what started to happen. And then, every day, I'm telling you something. My kids, there's nothing in life that I will not sacrifice for my baby. Raylan, Raven, KK, baby, it ain't just me. It ain't just me up here. Daddy told you, if you start something, finish it. Finish it. And I want to thank you guys. Desiree, a father's first true unconditional love is when he sees he has a baby girl. And what I love the most is our relationship. Because I told you the greatest thing I can give you as a father is the truth. That's all Daddy can give you. I can buy you many things. But the reason I'm with you right now and every one of my kids is because of the truth. That what I didn't have, the touches and the hugs and the kisses that I give you, I never had that. I never had a father physically touch me and tell me he loved me. That's why I hug you guys so much. That's why I'm still kissing you in the mouth. Yeah, I kiss all my kids in the mouth. Don't hate. Don't hate. Stay with me now. Don't hate. I know. Some, my sons try to get physical and stuff, They think they working out and stuff. But all those things I miss, seriously, is the reason why I did what I did. It would taught me the importance, truly, of just being wherever you were there. If I tried to sit up here, really, and thank my family that's sitting in this audience individually, somebody gonna get mad at me. It's impossible for me to thank every person in my family that helped me in my family. Man, I have one of the strongest families, prayer warriors that I've ever, listen, it is amazing the way my family fights together and lives together and figure things out together. And sometimes you got to trade kids because somebody going through a hard time. And my family, my aunts, my uncles, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, man, you guys gave me all the love I needed when I knew I was in trouble. I was in trouble, man. If you was raised in my hometown and you ain't have a father, man, that's a bad formula. But I made it. They lifted me up when I could have fallen so low. And to my brothers and sisters, wow. To my brothers and sisters, my twin sisters, Lakeisha and Lakeisha, Khadijah, my little brother Keon. My mama told us a long time ago, she said, a family that prays together stays together. Mama tattooed that in our hearts. I remember when things got hard for us in Florida. My mama went broke again. We had to make a move my 11th grade year. My mama piled me up in a van. She said, let's go. We're going to Tennessee. I said, Mom, you taught me God. And my vision ain't in Tennessee. My vision in Florida. Got to Tennessee and my mom was committed to making me move there. And I fell on my knees one day and I had given up because I knew my vision wasn't in Tennessee. My mama walked up beside me and slid on the right side, on the left side of my shoulder. She slid me $39 Greyhound bus ticket back to Florida. And she put $20 worth of food stamps in my hand. And she said, this is all I can do for you. And I said, I'll make it. But when I was leaving, my little brother grabbed me. And I'm going to tell it because I'm supposed to tell it. He was so fat and his cheeks were so chubby, we called him Muffin Man. You know? I mean, I got to tell people the truth, you know? You know, you got to tell the truth. And he was so fat, right? And I used to squeeze his stomach. Remember the commercial used to say, say God, say God. So I used to squeeze his fat stomach to make his stomach say Sega, right? So I used to make his behind pick up. But he grabbed me when I had to leave, get ready to leave. And you said to me, he said, don't do it, Ray. You said to me, you can't leave me. I won't live without you. But what you didn't know is that I would die to make my family successful. And now look, I told you we was gonna make it. It's not just me up here, it's all of us up here. I am blessed, I am truly blessed to have met so many men of faith. From my childhood pastors, Pastor Brown, Pastor Sims, my relationship with pastors is so vibrant, it's amazing. And they have guided me throughout my life and continue to guide me to this day. I have to thank every pastor that's been in my life and has prayed for my life and is still in my life. Listen here, Lakeland, Florida, wow. Polk County is in the building. Lakeland turned me into a man. Lakeland turned me into a warrior. Lakeland turned me into an inspirer, a conqueror. Man, there was nothing I couldn't do. And Kathleen High School, Ernest Joe, man, stand up. That's my high school coach. Coach Gary Linebacker, stand up. That's my first linebacker coach. Coach Poole, stand up. Stand up, Stephen Poole. That's my wrestling coach. Those men, all the coaches that had me after them, those three men are the way I am today, who I am today. Those three men molded me. Players that pushed me and laid the foundation of who I would become, both as a player and as a man. I met my best friend Kwame, boy. We stayed 3 doors down from each other. I lost a lot of races to him. Man, I lost a lot of races. I was never fast. I was quick enough to get there, but I just couldn't maintain the speed at the end. So he would always beat me in all these races. But then me and him, we was broke together. So then a lot of people don't know this, right? So we started this dance group called the Hardy Boys. Yeah, I know I gave away a deep secret. But just know this, you'll never see the film, ever. Never. And it was so funny because how we did everything to make money because we was broke. After 14 years, we talked about it, where we were going. I never forget, I was 14 years old. We were sitting up under the oak tree. Kwame was sitting up under the oak tree. We were both starving, no money. And I looked at him and I said, we're going to recite our Father's Prayer until we get a breakthrough. That was at 14. I'm 43 and I'm still reciting our Father's Prayer. I appreciate you, boy, for life. Warren South. Where are the hurricanes in the building? Where are the hurricanes in the building? Mine in the building. Let me tell you something. The University of Miami blessed me. The University of Miami gave me an opportunity when no other school would give me an opportunity. They gave me the last scholarship. Dennis Erickson, I always tell my kids, you're always being watched. You're always being watched. You're always being watched. They saw me play my last game, Brazil. They gave me the last scholarship they had with 4 days to go to sign. But when I got there, boy, Warren Sapp, Pat Riley, Rohan Marley, C.J. Richardson, Chad Wilson, Malcolm, man, they changed my mentality. I was surrounded around so much greatness. Thank you to the University of Miami. Thank you for the scholarship. Thank you for the opportunity. My goodness. Playmaker. Playmaker. My first game started at Colorado. I had crazy numbers coming from that game. I told Seth he couldn't beat me to the football, but that's another conversation. We go in this game in Colorado, and I have this crazy game. I come out of that, and Keith Jackson says, remember the name Ray Lewis. That's the next superstar. Keith Jackson, first time, rest in peace. And I came out after that, and I made a statement. And I said, honestly, Steve, I said, I might be the greatest player ever walk up out of here. Who knows? And everybody went crazy. Oh my gosh, he says he's gonna be the best. But Michael Irvin called me on the phone, and he said, that's a hurricane right there. And I knew I had arrived. I knew I was home. There's a lot of hurricanes here tonight. There are a lot of hurricanes here tonight. But there's one that I'm missing dearly. Miss Charlemagne, where are you in the audience, please? Would you please stand up? Miss Charlemagne is the mother of my roommate who tragically was killed in college. And we have stayed with each other since Marlon is gone. Mama McNair. Mama McNair. Mama McNair. Since you lost Steve, I know you lost a son, Mama, but you gained a son. Me and Mama McNair talk every Sunday because I don't have just one mother. I got many mothers that's lost sons. And Mama, I thank you. I thank you. Oh my goodness. J.O. J.O. What J.O.? Come here, J.O. Baltimore. 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 Ready? Go. Hey, buddy, listen, you gotta do it. You gotta do it, Ravens fans. Or like I heard you earlier, boy, I know Chicago got some good fans. But boy, them Raven fans, I'm telling you something about them Raven fans. They crazy with it. They crazy with it. Everybody that's sitting in this audience, that's Baltimore, played in 2000, won the first Super Bowl, played in 2012, coach or owner, please stand up. Please stand up. The greatest visionary ever. Thank you guys, thank you. The greatest visionary ever to me was Art Modell. A vision. Without Art's vision, I'm not standing here. Without Art's vision, Steve, we don't become the friends that we are. Without Art's vision, every man that's sitting in this room, we don't take a city and bless a city the way that we bless Baltimore. Art Modell, Dick Cass, Kevin Byrne, man, priceless. First class organization. Bill T, Mark, oh my gosh, every trainer, everybody who's helped me, J.O., Chad Steele, Rod, Wilson, Shannon, Goose, Rob, man, all the people. It's impossible to thank all my coaches because you taught me how to be a better player. But more than that, you taught me how to be a better man, Rex Ryan. Mike Singletary, Jack Del Rio, oh man, Mike Smith, Mike Nolan. I can go down the line to the men that changed my life. This team taught me grown man football. That's what 2000 taught me. Man, when you had to see Eddie George twice, Fred Taylor twice, Gordon Dillon twice, and Jerome Bettis, that's rough sledding. That's rough sledding. But I tell you, there was a moment in my life, and I want to kind of get to this moment. There's a moment. My guy Rex.
1999, 2001 may have been some of the darkest moments of my life. But I tell you something, when God says, can you hear me now? He sends you a family to make sure you're okay while you're going through what you're going through. What you did for me, what my Atlanta family did for me, Mona Lisa, listen to her. What y'all did for me, Steve Bisciotti. What you believed in me, Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps. What? How many times me and you sat in the same house looking at each other? What we said, Baltimore is our city. We'll do anything for Baltimore. Anything. That's the way you end it. Yeah. A lot of people call you the greatest Olympian ever. I call you one of my greatest friends, brother. I appreciate you, man. Man, I'm coming to an end because I want to bless you guys with something. Me and Ed Reed, Monty, my goodness, Rohan Marley. Man, I want to just thank you guys for that trip. My God, you may be up here next year, back to back again. I want to thank all of Monty. You're the best trainer in the freaking world, boy. You hear me? Yeah. In that left corner, I want you to look over there in that left corner because I would never leave Baltimore. But in that left corner is all of my graduates from my solar company that we work in Baltimore about creating jobs and providing opportunities to give people a better chance. That's what we doing. We took a bus up here to bless our city. That's our corner. To the Hall of Fame. I was introduced to something yesterday that forever changed my life. I saw egos set aside. I saw men talk as men. I saw men close the door from all aspects of life, from all races of life. And we came to a solution. And it wasn't no judgmental. It was just conversation. That's what makes this family so great. That's why I'm so happy to be a proud of this family. Papa Brown, Jim Brown, I sat below your legs and you looked down at me and you said, I'm passing the torch to you. Not because of fear, but because of respect. Because people will listen to you, you said. I thank you. Mama, look how far we came. Hall of Famer Ray Lewis. To the man that gave me that name. To the man that gave me that name. Sitting in the incubator without a name. And a friend of my mom's done us a favor. He loaned me the name Ray Lewis. And I promised, I told him, I will make your name great someday. The Hall of Fame class 2018, too many great names, man. Dawkins, Moss, Kramer, Brazier, Urlacher, Owens, Berthard. I'm just honored to be up here. But there's something I have to ask. I always got to leave with an ask. And let's get out of here after this ask, man. But for all of us up here, it's how we reacted to these challenges in our lives that determine our greatness. Now, how do we react in this moment? How do we turn our legend into legacy? I've been thinking a lot, right, about Dr. Martin Luther King and his challenge for us. His destiny was not to see his dream through, but to spark the mind that will ask, how do we execute that dream? Who will answer that knock on the door in the middle of the night? And I see that it's gotta be us. And it gotta start right now. Our country needs real leaders. Real leaders. We need people that who are willing to step up and take action, need people willing to fight for what is good and what is right. How do we react to challenges in our country right now? Think about this. We can go from being legends into building a legacy bigger than football, bigger than sports. I want us to work together to really take on these challenges, to look at our goals, at what unites us. Surely there's something. How about stopping our kids from dying in schools? Can we please put prayer back in schools? Please. How about protecting our children from a terrifying life of being sex trafficked? I'd lose my mind if my daughter got to. How about helping our neighbors that can't afford their medicine? How can we do this? How can we come together? The answer is simple. The answer is love. Hope, faith, and love, and the greatest is love. I'm talking about a selfless love, a true love from my mother and my God. The love described by Dr. Martin Luther King, the love that sacrifices and is defined by action, action taken for others, the actions of stepping up and being a leader. It's no different than what we all do. Did to get here. We rose to the challenge week after week for the love of the game, for the love of our team. That love just doesn't go away when we retire. It's still in us, burning to be used. And I'm talking to you at home too. Martin said, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subs and verb agree to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics and physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. In the next 30 days, I want you to think about why you get up in the morning. What is most important to you in this life? Are you living every day to make this world better? We must come together as brothers and sisters. If I keep my hands separated, anybody can come and bend my fingers. But I promise you, if I put my fists together, there's nothing we can't do. Think what we can do if we work together as a country. For me, my guiding purpose is to carry out God's destiny for my life. How do I do that? By not just loving my neighbors as I love myself, but by challenging people to walk with me and teaching our nation how to love each other again. And what do I do? What wouldn't I do to make this happen? That's the reason I'm here, to call this crew to action, to inspire, to come together and raise up our country. Everybody can serve. Anyone can be a leader. When you take action to lift up your community, to inspire others to dream and to do more, you're a leader. Listen, our gravestone has a day when you were born and a day when you die. And they got a dash in between. And that dash defines what your legacy is. It's time. Leave you with this last thought. Dr. Miles Monroe compares leaders to the king of the jungle, he says. He says the lion is not the tallest animal in the jungle. The lion is not the largest animal in the jungle. The lion is not the smartest nor the most intelligent animal in the jungle. And yet when the lion shows up, he is king. He is king. You don't need to be intelligent. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to have a certain height. You don't need to have a certain weight. You don't need to have any kind of advantage, and yet you can be a leader. I was not the biggest, the strongest, or fastest, but my goals were clear. My actions were and still are in service of those goals. I was a leader on the field then. I'm a leader in my community now. Now I've joined a new team, and my goal is clear with this team, to lift up my brothers and sisters, to inspire the leaders in this next generation to fight for love, not money, not fame, not success, not how many followers I got, but to fight for love. My mother once told me, she said, win the race. She said, run your race, Ray. She said, don't give up. Do not sit down. Do not lie down, but stand up, go forward, and I will go with you. One of the greatest gifts my mom ever gave me was the Bible. Now, the Bible made me who I am today. Ephesians 3 of verse 20 says, now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above, far beyond all you can ever ask, think, or imagine, according to the power that's working within you. Walk with me out of here today with the mission in your mind, in your heart, Vow to be a leader in your community. Vow to be a ray of light in the world around you. Together, there's nothing we can't do. Hall of Fame 2018.